staring from left to right, wanting to join a game of football, but not knowing how. I was scared, I was nervous, and above all, I was afraid of rejection. What if they said no? What if they said that I couldn't join because I wasn't good enough? What if they said that I couldn't participate because I was a girl? Apart from the billion questions and scenarios I had in my head, at that moment, I gave myself two choices. Number one, I could go back to my classroom still wanting to join a game of football, or number two, I could go up to them and ask. And thankfully, I chose number two. I went up to them, used my voice, and simply just asked. Despite my fear of rejection, I realized that I could never actually know if they would allow me to partake unless I asked. And rather than overthinking and coming up with imaginary situations in my head, I decided to go up to them and simply just ask. At that moment, I felt as though I was the voice of so many other girls who wanted to participate but were too afraid to ask. And to my surprise, they let me participate. All it took was one person, and soon enough, more girls began to join. In that instant, I hadn't thought about much about the impact that I could have on others. But this experience made me realize something. There could be so many other people out there that want to do what you also want to do. But if no one steps up, who's going to get to do it? Rather than waiting for others to step up, why can't you be the one who makes a difference? Our voice is what lets us speak, what lets us resolve conflict, what lets us stand up for others, what lets us ask questions, and what lets us say our opinions. It's what allows us to connect and communicate with those around us. It's one of the easiest, yet hardest ways in which we can make an impact. From a simple game of football to the various global issues being faced in our world today, a lot of us are scared to speak up, to use our voice, and to make a difference. But what if I told you this? The future of our world depends on us. Using our voice doesn't necessarily mean standing up for global issues. It can be anything from letting your friend know that they hurt their feelings, to asking your teacher for the reasoning behind their grading. But when it comes to advocating for change, our voice is one of the most powerful tools we can use, and if we don't use it, we risk the future of our lives. You might be thinking, I'm only one person. How big of an impact could my voice actually have? A lot. In many cases, people tend to follow a crowd, and if one person decides to speak up, it causes a domino effect, as more people feel the courage to use their voice. And that's what leads to change. Therefore, a lot of the time, it only takes one person to make a difference. So even if you don't think that you can make a difference, you're simply just wrong. Let me give you all an example from my own life. Throughout my middle and high school years, I've discovered a huge passion that I have for service. And most of the time, it came from the passion of being the voice of those who cannot speak up. In 7th grade, shaped by my own experiences and those of others, I founded the Anti-Bullying Club to provide a space where every member can feel safe and welcomed to be themselves. One of our main objectives in this club is to strive for a school community that stands up for victims of bullying. Through this club, I will never actually know how big of an impact I'm having on those in my community. But there is one thing that I do know. We are the voice of victims, and we are the voice of those who are afraid to speak up. And we are the voice of those who don't have the strength to be heard. It is our job as a youth in today's world to support one another, to speak up when something doesn't feel right, and to use our voice to our advantage. Now, I do want to point out that in order to start this club, I had to use my voice. I had to gather people, and I had to put in the effort to make a difference. It's not always easy, but what's important is to keep going, because one day you will see change. Tying this back to what I originally stated about how a lot of the time, it only takes one person to initiate change. This club is a clear example of this. It started off with the courage of one person, and then several other people took part in the cause and encouraged others to speak up. This club provided me and many other people with a voice, and for those who are still afraid to speak up, we have become their voice. But let me ask you this. What do you think would have happened if I never chose to speak up, if I never chose to create this club, and if I never wanted to see change? This is what I call silence. If I chose silence, the bullies would feel empowered, and they would never realize their mistakes. As for the victims, they would feel powerless and afraid. By speaking up, I was able to combat both of these, creating change. So, rather than choosing silence, choose to stand up for yourself and those around you, because that is the only way to make a difference. Remember, we are the future of this world. From joining a game of football to starting my own club, my purpose is to be the voice of those who cannot speak up. Now, this is my invitation to you all to use your voice. It doesn't matter how small you think the situation is, or how insignificant you think it is, your voice matters. I would like to end my speech off today with one final message to you all, a quote by Emma Watson. "If not me,